Most e-commerce business owners have a document graveyard. It's one Google Drive folder where invoices go to die, or worse, a chaotic downloads folder on a team member's laptop somewhere. And when tax season hits or an audit happens, the business grinds to a halt because everyone's hunting down for a receipt from like 6 months ago. The automation tax is real. Every minute your billing team spends manually downloading invoices, renaming, sorting invoices is a minute they aren't spending optimizing your cash flow. Today, I'm going to show you how I use NAN to build a zero-touch invoice processing workflow that turns a messy Google Drive or a downloads folder onto a fully categorized automated finance department. So this is the automation right here. And how do you think automation works in comparison to a VA? You see, business owners think that hiring a VA to sort invoices is cheap. It's not. It's expensive because humans make mistakes. They miscategorize, they lose attachments, lose receipts, and they get burnt out doing repetitive tasks. Automation doesn't get burnt out. An end-to-end workflow processes its thousands invoice with the exact same precision as its first invoice. If you want scale, you have to stop paying humans to act like software and leave these kind of jobs for the actual software. So now I'm going to show you how to build automation yourself. We start off with a trigger. Now a trigger is the step that starts this workflow. So an example is whenever an invoice is uploaded into this Drive folder. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to type Drive, Google Drive, and the trigger is going to be on changes involving a specific folder. Log in with your Google Drive account. Now with this, for some reason, logging in with your Drive is way more complex than logging in with your Google on NA10. If you need help with it, leave a comment down below and I'll walk you through it with some description. Pull time basically is how often you want automation to run. I have it every minute. We can have it at the end of each hour, end of each day, so it's done all in one go. Up to you. For this automation, we'll leave it every minute. Then triggers on changes to a specific folder. Yeah, that's fine. From list, so you pick the folder. So mine is invoice NA10. Which is the one I use for testing. Then watch for folder created, file created. There we go. So I just uploaded this one. Let's delete this one actually. So now if I just drag my invoice, put that right there. Boom, boom, fetch test event. And there we go. Everything is right here. After we recognize it, what we want to do is download that invoice. So next step, Drive, go to Google Drive, download file, boom, 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 and file. What you want to do is change this to by ID because you want it to recognize the file ID every time it's uploaded instead of you having to manually go into N8N. So you want to find the file ID. So for this, you have two options: either type JSON, just the $. Why did I go outside this? Dot JSON dot ID right there. Put space right there. Perfect. However, if you don't know how to read JSON, the beauty of N8N, you can just find the ID right here. So it seems to be at the very bottom, I believe. Version right there. You drag this right there, and boom. So you can either code it in or use the no-code tools and just drag this right there. After this, nothing. Execute step. Executing steps is how we test automations. Close that. And next thing is you want to extract this information. So we're going to use the extraction tool. Extract from file. Extract from PDF because it was a PDF document. So execute step. Perfect. Now it took all the information here and put it into a bunch of variables. So if I go here, and the next one is gonna be the fancy tool. It's gonna be information extractor. So what you want to do, you want to get this text right here. So again, you can type JSON.text $, or you can just drag this right there, and you can see if I go to expression, this is the information it's looking at right now. Schema attribute is fine. Then we want to do, you want to add in the fields you want to scan for. So these fields are essentially going to be these rows. So the invoice number, client name, client email, etc. So you would type client name, followed by a description, which would be the name of the client. So the name of the client. And you want to add this to each one. So once again, invoice number, see what that is. I'm going to skip this phase. Literally just keep add attribute, put in the section with a brief description for that section. Oh, and one thing on here where it says date, so the invoice date, you can actually put a format to be an actual date format. So have that one be a date. Everything else, just leave a string. You don't need to change anything else. And voila, there we go. That took a lot longer than expected. So everything's the same, total amount, on the invoice, description of the services, 154 description of the service this invoice is for, client address, blah, 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 everything the same, string, email, client email, etc. Now, everything the same. The only thing I want to keep in mind is what you're gonna do is press required or unrequired. So that means, is the information 100% necessary? So automation will not extract information without it, and it's going to look for this specifically. If it's something like not as important, like the client's email address, because you have it somewhere, because some businesses only care about the invoice number, paid or paid, and the amount, you can just specifically tick those. That's up to you, whether you want to make these essential or not essential. And then with this, it does categorize using a language model. So in this scenario, I'm going to use OpenAI. So OpenAI, I'm going to use GPT 4.1 mini. You know what that is. That's all you need for now. You need to use anything too fancy. We'll go out, and you want to add a system message here. So if I go to the very bottom, add options, system prompt templates, your expert extraction algorithm, only. So for this, I have this prompt that I built myself. Again, all this is the prompt you give to the AI tool, the same way you would text ChatGPT or Gemini with questions or instructions in your spare time. This will be in the description as well. You can feel free to copy and paste it. Is the role or the persona, you're an expert extraction algorithm. Context, only extract all information from the text, blah, blah, blah. So this one is the template instruction that N8N gives, which is really useful actually. And task, extract following variables. This is the prompting method that Google teaches in the automation course. So I recommend going and learning that if you're interested in mastering this process. So expression, make this full screen so you can see it, and copy and paste. And these hashtags are markdown tags. So basically, in a Word document which says heading, like a massive title, this is how you write a heading in AI, in the AI chat box. It just makes the tool read that as heading 1 with 1 hashtag and heading 2 with 2 hashtags. Perfect. And if I execute steps, it's gonna run. So if I go back here, it's thinking, the flirting back and forth, the tool and the AI. Once it's finished, it now gave me these variables that I can work with. So I'm sure you forgot where this is going. Now that we extracted these variables, we're gonna add in the next step, which as you can see is gonna be a Google Sheets that we put the information in. So next step would be add in Google Sheets. We're gonna we're gonna append or update a row in Sheets. Click that. And then what you want to do is, should we make a new one actually, because this is a link to the previous automation. So as file, let's do make a copy. Let's call it copy in sheet 2. There we go. And it deletes information. Delete. So same thing as before. You want to connect to your Google account. After you've done that, you want to choose your documents. So it's copy of the sheet that we just built, and sheet, it'll be sheet 1. And then these other rows here, they showed up. So again, like before, you can write JSON manually, or you just drag these. So you can write JSON client name. Let's put that right here, client name. I misclicked, like that. Invoice number. voila, there you go. And if I execute this, so again, this is the one we used, this is empty. So I'm gonna execute a step. So again, it's thinking, it's loading. The column match on parameter, source sheet. There we go, perfect. I forgot to do that. So basically, you want to pick a column as the center, basically. The column used to matching rows, Google Sheets. So first number, first one, doesn't matter. Execute step. And voila, if I go here, refresh, perfect. You can see the information got inserted. And now every time I put any invoice, no matter what, inside of here, once it's published, it's going to run each minute or hour, like you mentioned earlier. It's going to scan and download them all. So when tax season comes, boom, you are ready. Everything's here, sorted with no effort. And then the last step would be to send an email to your billing team or to the owner or whoever's in charge of dealing with this stuff. One step, let's put Gmail. And let's do reply to message, get message, send email, where is it? Send a message, there we go. So connect your Gmail account. So I'm gonna send it to this one, Gmail account 2, message, operation 2. So have a set billing team. So let's do and we can do as well. You can also send this to your client as well. We receive this at the same time by dragging the email there. But this one's going to be exclusive to the billing team, going to be internal. So 2 going to be this email address. I'm gonna let's blur that. I'm gonna use my automation email testing. Bruce Wayne. Subject. Invoice, and let's get the invoice number. So invoice NV blah 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 from John Smith. HTML, they're the same, everything here leave as it is. Message, send, yep. Now message, expression, make it a bit bigger. Dear billing team, I'm just gonna copy and paste that from the previous automations to save us both a lot of time. Basically, just write an email. So all you're doing really. So in here, you drag this information from here one by one. So you would drag the client name, you drag the client name, you drag the invoice number, you would drag everything. Make sure they're all spaced out in a paragraph you like. But once you've put them all in here, you say a new invoice just been received and filed. All this information. Kind regards, Ellie. Now, Ellie, just the name I gave it. You can write the AI agent or whichever you would like. But yeah, write that all in here. And then an email will be sent to your billing team. Let them know, and then invoice is received. This way they can check it as well if they would like, make sure that all the information matches their own records. And once that's done, I'm going to execute the step. And label sent. So if I go to my Bruce Wayne email, go to my inbox, a new email. Dear billing team, a new invoice been sent, file, John Smith, blah blah blah, automation, paid, kind regards, Ellie. You can make the email more spaced out, so it's all clumped up, that's up to you. And options, there's one thing there. If you go here, append by N8N, attribution, click that, and untick it. So basically, N8N will put a tag at the bottom that says this was sent by N8N. You can untick that, so basically it looks more professional and doesn't look like an AI sent it, even though it did. If I make it even look even more personal, you can add a AI agent step tool, and the way that tool works is to customize the email and write a different email each time, because it has ChatGPT draft that email. That's up to you. It does cost money because it's got to go to your billing page. It might cost, I think, roughly 1/5 of a cent each time. But if you're going to go to a client, I think it's worth it. Looks way more professional and personalized. But if it's just an internal email to your staff team, then I think a template is all you need, really. And that is the full automation. It doesn't look as pretty because we haven't put the tags and labels on it. But essentially, it's the exact same one that we just built now. And we're finished. And remember, You don't need a bigger finance team, you need a better workflow. The most successful e-commerce brands I've ever seen aren't the ones with the most employees, they're the ones with the smartest automations. They keep their overheads low and their speed high. If you look at Iman Gadzi or look at a lot of modern successful entrepreneurs, they have a small, lean, efficient team with a crap ton of systems behind it to make sure everything works. And if you want to work with us, you're an e-commerce owner who's doing 50K in revenue a month or more, there'll be a link in the description for a discovery call. Press that, we'll chat, see what automations we can build for you and see how we can move forward. But with that in mind, thank you for your time and attention. It's a valuable resource and I appreciate you giving it to me, and I shall see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.